Welcome back to Punchlines, guys. It is your host, Shay McMurdo. Excited to announce the week after Adames versus Williams. Our boy Carlos, former guest, went out there and really put on another entertaining fight already. This year's been full of them. This fight was sick. J-Rock performed very well. I know a lot of people didn't like how the fight ended. We're going to get into that, but the right man still won. And his cut man is our guest today, Joseph Santos, of course, son of great boxing coach Bob Santos out of Las Vegas, Nevada. And before we get into that interview with him, I, of course, have to thank all my sponsors and give shouts out. Feast Mode Flavors, the #1 meal prep seasoning in the game. If you're a fighter, if you're a competitor, any type of athlete, or if you just want to be healthier, or I know how boring eating healthy gets. I get so fucking bored of chicken and rice and broccoli all the time. They're here to help out. They've helped me out. They make the best low sodium, sugar-free like seasonings for meal prep in the game. All sorts of flavors. They taste great and they keep you in check and they make eating healthy easier. Use code Punch10, you'll get 10% off, and they're on Instagram at Feast Mode Flavors. And then the coffee company, Chimera Coffee, the only nootropic infused coffee out there, the first ones to do it. There's a reason why UFC fighters and world professional athletes use their product. I don't have any on me right now. I got high a few weeks ago, broke my coffee pot. So, but outside of that, they make a great product, and you get 15% off every order with code Punch15, and that's Chimera Coffee with a K on both. There's a link also in my bio and probably in the description of this video if you need to learn how to spell it or how to find it. And of course, Adams Boxing. I just got the new White Lightnings in today. Some of the best shoes. They're not made out of child labor. They're made down in Mexico, unlike a lot of other companies. All right. They're all handcrafted to perfection. And there's a reason they have ambassadors like all the Vargas brothers, Jaime Manguilla, Andy Ruiz just wore them in his video calling out Deontay Wilder. Was that a right move? I don't know, but the shoes are sick, and you guys will get 10% off with code Punchlines10 on adamsfootwear.com on any of the products too, including the hats. They have new socks out available that are extremely comfortable. That's what I shadow box in and train in. They also just released an amateur line. If you got amateur kids out there and you're trying to find them good fight kids, good reliable fight kids, they also have competition gloves for the amateurs, as well as red and blue corner shoes. And you guys can save 10% off, like I said, Punchlines 10. And last but not least, I, of course, have to give the shout out to Manscaped. Use code Knockout20 to get 20% off and no shipping and handling on any of their products, including the nose trimmer, like I just showed you, the lawnmower to trim your balls up. It's summer, guys. Don't be out there throwing it. That's disgusting. All right. What's even nastier is they just came out with a beard trimmer because they found out a lot of y'all were using the same razors as your balls on your face. That's fucking gross. Don't do that. All right. Our guest today wouldn't even be able to fix your face after that. And that's what he does for a living. Dude, Joseph Santos is our guest, of course, the son of Bob Santos. If you don't know who that is, if you're only a casual fan of boxing, Bob Santos trains guys like Mario Barrios, who's a former opponent of Tank, as well as Hector Luis Garcia, who just fought Tank right before Ryan Garcia, current world champion at 130 pounds. And this past weekend's winner, Carlos Adames, dude, you've worked with so many like big name fighters and good fighters at such a young age. Like, do you consider yourself grateful? Like, you live the dream life of like so many people out there. You know that, right?
Oh, 100%. It's definitely a blessing because not everybody gets this opportunity, especially this young. So I'm definitely grateful that my pops has kind of helped me be in this position. He's showed me the ropes and he's taught me a lot.
Yeah. Also, your dad, he's kind of like he's been in the game for 4 decades, right?
Yeah, he's been in the game for over 30 years.
But this last year, I feel like he's finally received the praise that he's kind of earned up until this point. Is that cool for you to see? Do you feel like it's like long overdue?
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I just I remember he would get some recognition when he was with Robert, and especially after the Floyd Mayweather fight, a lot of people knew who he was and whatnot. But it was definitely never to this degree. Um, I feel like he gets recognized a lot more. He gets his respect a lot more, and he's definitely earned it. He's put in the time and the sacrifices to be where he's at. So yeah, no, he's definitely earned it.
Yeah, and I read an interview about yourself. Like, this is what you do now. You started it. How you started it sounds pretty fucking gnarly, dude. Like you got your braces ripped off in like training or in a fight.
Uh, so I actually had some amateur fights. I had a little amateur career, a short amateur career, but my pops had put me and my brothers all in boxing when we were younger. And I had braces when I was real young. Actually, my nickname when I was younger was Sharky because of how fucked up my teeth were. So, I had braces when I was real young during the time I was boxing, and obviously with the sparring and the amateur fights and everything, it started to rip up all my gums. So at one point, I had like there was no gum in the back of my mouth; it was just like bone. So obviously, I had to stop for a little bit. Then I had to get a gum surgery, and then I ended up getting my braces off. I just never went back to boxing because I had already joined other sports. I was doing football and basketball, baseball, and whatnot. So,
But your heart still stays in boxing though, so because you became a
oh, no
cutman.
doubt. Yeah, no
And
doubt.
and you start how long when was your first big like I guess big fight that you were the cutman for in the corner?
Well, actually, the first fight I ever worked was on PBC. Um, it was Eros Correa's corner. It was during the bubble actually. So that was my first introduction. I mean, I had already been around the game and everything. I'd been in locker rooms and stuff. I just never worked a corner. So, but that was the first corner I worked was during the COVID bubble. Was Eros Correa's corner, and I think that was in LA.
Man, the bubble for boxing was that weird? Like, what was it like? Because it was just like a sparring session, I guess, when you were there live, right?
Yeah, it was super weird because there's no fans. It was like you hear every punch, you hear the other corner talking to his guy, you hear the commentators talking. It was weird. It was like a Yeah, it was honestly like a glorified sparring session to be honest. But the whole setup that they had was pretty cool though. They had all your meals there prepared and everything, and it was good food. They uh they made sure you did your COVID testing every day and stuff to make sure you didn't have no positive tests. So I mean, it was cool though. It wasn't too bad.
Yeah, that it was weird watching it because they injected the fake fan noise. So at first you're like, oh, whatever. And then you're like, wait a minute, what the fuck? There's no one there. Like that's cardboard. It's like blurred out cardboard people in the back. And you're like,
Yeah, in the back. Yeah,
yeah, I was like, dude, this is kind of creepy actually, now that I think about it.
yeah. No, it
Uh,
was a little weird, but I mean, I guess they did what they could.
Yeah, I remember for comedy, like all the comedy clubs got shut down. So to perform, we had to do like these Zoom shows. So it's
Oh
like,
shit.
yeah, dude, it's like you're going on there and then you tell a joke, but it's all people on Zoom and they're all muted. So like you don't know if they're laughing or not. So it's so weird.
Oh shit.
And I'm like, do I keep going? Am I eating a dick right now? Am I like I don't know. It's fucking it was terrible. But
That's hella funny.
the fake fans though, it was weird. Just like you remember the NBA play? Do you watch basketball at all?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Remember the bubble playoffs? How it would be like people's like random ass faces on computer screens and just all this loud ass noise for like an LA Fitness game.
Yeah, that shit was weird.
It was good basketball though. I
Yeah,
actually
definitely. No, double basketball was dope. Yeah,
it was sick. That was
Eric
when like Devin Booker like really showed up.
was going crazy. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's one of my favorite players. So,
yeah. I'm a huge Trailblazers fan, and I love Lillard obviously, but man, we actually made it to the playoffs that year, but we always get our heart broken. I feel like we find ways to lose all the time.
I feel you. What's crazy is actually next week. I've been talking to Keldon Johnson from the Spurs,
Yeah.
and then how you say his name?
I
Wembenyama.
I know who you're talking about. Wimby.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wemby. Yeah. So him, um, Keldon, and then it was shit. I don't remember who the other one was, but all three of them they're coming next week. And then they're come train at our gym, train with me and stuff. So that'll be dope.
That's pretty sick, dude. That's really cool.
No, yeah, that's gonna be tight.
Basketball players low key make good boxers, dude. That Wimby dude, oh
Yeah,
my
they're
god.
athletic.
That Wimby dude can literally punch across the ring, I feel like.
Yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna do mitts with him. I'm gonna be having my shit all the way up here. I don't know.
Yeah. He's like if Sebastian Fundora got stretched the fuck out, dude. It's insane.
Hey, yeah, Sebastian got fucked up by my
Mendoza,
boy Brian Mendoza. Yeah, that's my
yeah.
boy too. I've been in his corner a couple times.
Oh yeah. Oh, because he
Yeah,
trains at so you work with Salas and your dad's gym a lot, huh? I forgot about that.
I did. We were over there, but now we're at our own gym here at Pound for Pound.
Okay. Yeah, Brian's dope, man. That was a crazy night. Dude fell like in slow motion to the ground. And
So it was like a big ass tree just falling.
yeah, he brought my friend in actually to help him train for that fight, Michael Fox. Uh
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah,
I
I'm
know
really
him.
good.
I know him pretty well too.
Yeah, I'm really good friends with Mike, man. So I was kind of rooting for Brian because of that little connection and everything. But yeah, dude, that that was one of my favorite knockouts this year because I honestly wasn't expecting it like that because they were putting
I don't think
Fundora on like
anybody was expecting it like that.
no, it was bad. It was sick though how he did it, like how he timed it and
Yeah,
everything with like the jab to the body feint. It was
yeah.
it was dope. Um, one of my favorite fighters. Well, obviously you train with like a lot of my favorite fighters. Everyone knows how big of a fan I am of Mario Barrios. But Adamas, dude, because I've been talking this guy up for like the last few years. And were you at his fight at the Armory this past weekend? I'm assuming you were.
Yeah, yeah, I was there working his cuts.
Um, he he's been long overdue for like his moment in the spotlight. And I thought this last weekend was a great fight. Everyone's saying he got exposed. I think that's so stupid. Boxing fans are so retarded, dude. I swear to God. Like they're already calling the stoppage. They're like, this is one of the worst stoppages I've ever seen. I'm like, will you stop being so fucking over dramatic? Like Rolly versus Barroso just happened. How have you already forgotten about that? Is I hate him. Like
Yeah, no, it's always what what have you done for me lately? And that's just how boxing is.
yeah, like when that Haney Loma happened, they're like, "This is the worst robbery I've ever seen." I'm like, dude, it's not even the worst robbery in the past 2 months. Like Holbert Rayo was worse than this. You can't.
Oh yeah, exactly. People they just move on to the next thing and then jump on that, and then when the next thing comes up, they'll jump on that bandwagon, and that's how boxing fans are. You can never really please them.
A month ago, everybody was saying Regis destroys Tio. He destroys Haney, all of them, and then he has that boring ass fight, and they're always like, "I told you this guy was overrated." Haney walks through him. I'm like, how have you already changed your mind like so quick? But back to the Adamas fight. Watching it on TV, Jim Gray kept saying that Julia Williams' best chance was to get on the inside, to fight Adamas on the inside. So then he finally got on the inside, and who knew Adamas was that good on the inside? Because the last minute of that sixth round, I looked at my friend and I'm like, dude, that guy's gonna be pissing blood tomorrow. He was fucking him up to the body bad.
Yeah,
And
I don't think he threw a single headshot in the last 30, 40 seconds.
no, and like it paid its dues. Everybody was saying he was getting tired. I hope they realized he was getting tired from beating the shit out of Julian Williams. Like Julian performed well, but Carlos was I didn't like the stoppage. I thought it was kind of premature, but the stoppage was inevitable. I've got to emphasize that. I know we can't make a hypothetical, but Adamas was well on his way to winning that fight.
And like my dad said too, if the stoppage, the only thing the stoppage robbed anybody of was Carlos of a highlight reel knockout. It didn't rob J Rock of maybe possibly, you know what I'm saying? Like the only
Yeah.
thing it really robbed anybody of was Carlos of knocking him out bad, which was gonna happen if the fight continued.
Yeah, it was because he had his body was fucked, and you
Yeah,
could see it. His hand, he was getting caught, and he'd already. It was a lot like that Colbert and Rayo fight. Adamas was hurting him like every other round. It seemed like hurting him bad, and
yeah.
but yeah, it also I even made a post about it. I was like, robbed him of a highlight reel knockout, but it also robbed him of getting his full credit because when shit like that happens, people take it out on the fighter. They're not taking it out on Mark Nelson. They're taking it out on him. Like it's his fault that the ref did that. And it completely kind of like wipes away how good he looked in that fight. You know what I'm saying? I hate it.
Exactly.
It's not fair. Just like when the judges mess up a decision, they take it out on the fighter as well. Then it's fucked up.
They're
Um,
just in there fighting their fight. They can't control what the judges do. They can't control what the referee's doing. You know what I'm saying? They're just in there doing what they do.
exactly. Like, man, I could not imagine the stress of being a fighter at all. And even if you do win and if you do look great, they'll be like, "Oh, he was past his prime. He was shop worn." Like you
Oh
can't
yeah, exactly. You can never please a boxing fan.
ever, ever, ever. I hate it. They're the worst. But what what was your reaction? Because on TV we heard everything. We heard Breadman over in J Rock's corner telling the ref he's a piece of shit over and over. But then, like, as soon as the fight ended, your dad was running in the ring, like, that's right, motherfucker. And like, we're talking all that shit on Instagram. And I'm like, whoa,
Oh shoot.
what was that all about?
Um, honestly, I'm not even too sure. You probably have to ask my dad what was going on between them personally. But uh yeah, I don't know. We were definitely excited after that win.
When your dad acts like that, are you like, fuck yeah, that's what's up? Or are you like, God damn it? We're like,
Nah. It's because I mean I never realistically he's never reacted like that after a fight. It's just I know that there was some personal tension that was happening beforehand with him and Breadman and whatnot. So it's like I don't want to get into their personal business,
right.
but I know that there was something going on behind the scenes with them too. So after that win, that was kind of just like a statement, I guess. But I was right there with them, like fuck yeah,
Okay. Yeah, that's not
yeah.
how I would react at all. Because when my dad acted like that, it was never anything nowhere near the magnitude of a Showtime main event fight. My dad would yell at that at like a Walmart self checkout machine because he couldn't figure out how to fucking use the thing. And I'm like, look, I don't fucking know this guy, dude. Like, you like calling the lady in there a cunt, the voice of it.
Oh
Like,
shit.
yeah, because I was like, damn, I wonder because I don't follow J Rock on Instagram, so I didn't know if he was talking shit on Instagram or something.
No,
And
we're actually we're real cool with J Rock. I mean, shit, J Rock's he he's actually trained with us a little bit before. I mean, I know him really well as well. So does my pops. I mean, we're all good with him and everything. Um, and I think my dad. I don't know. I seen him talking with Breadman after the fight too. So I don't know if they had patched things up. I don't know what that conversation was about. But
yeah, it's just boxing though. That shit happens, bro. Like
yeah, exactly.
fights are stressful. Fights like do you
They
like
get intense. You get emotional and whatnot. I mean, you get invested.
yeah, even as a fan, you feel it at home. Like I still get nervous for fights. Even if I'm not rooting for anybody. I feel like the energy a big fight brings, like you can feel it. Like
What's crazy is I was just telling that to one of my boys the other week. I was like, bro, what's crazy is I'll go watch a fight and like in the crowd, watching the fight in the crowd when the two fighters aren't even part of our stable, I don't work with any of them or whatever it is. I will get more nervous watching a big fight like that than if I'm actually in the corner working the fight. It's like it's weird.
yeah, it's just something that boxing has that a lot of other sports don't. And
Uh,
I felt it first when I was 5 years old, and I've been hooked ever since. It was the no, I was 7. It was De La Hoya versus Mosley, the first fight, and I'm like, dude, this is a big fight. There's because it was showing like celebrities wearing tuxedos, like ringside and shit. And I was like, this is a big deal. And I'm like, those guys are fighting like they fight on the movies, but like they're actually doing it. And I was
yeah,
just like glued to the TV, and I'm never let go of it. But it's insane. Do you feel it more than when you're in a corner of them though? That's crazy.
yeah. Now when I'm in a corner, I'm like, I don't really get nervous at all. But watching the fights in the stands, like even if it's not fighters that we know or worked with, when it's like a big fight like that, I'll feel my heart start to race and stuff, and I'm like, damn, this is just it's trippy.
Yeah, it's weird. That's crazy. Did you ever get nervous though, as a cut man? Like, were you ever like, "Fuck, I hope I know what I'm doing"?
My dad always taught me like on how to work the corner and what to do in certain situations and stuff. So I always knew what to do, but obviously the first couple fights, yeah, I was a little bit nervous because even though I knew what to do, I didn't have that experience yet. But now that I've been working corners over 2 years with world title fights, some of the biggest stadiums, some of the biggest fights, some of the biggest cards, pay-per-view events. Now it's like getting on a bike.
At first, how fast did that minute go by in between rounds?
Actually, what's crazy is yeah, no, I felt like it used to go by real fast. Now I feel like I got my I don't know if it's just that I work faster or whatever, but I notice I'll have more time like just in the corner when I'm doing what I think it's just because I know what I'm doing more and I know how to do it better. So I feel like I have more time now than when I first started. I feel like the first couple fights that minute went by quick.
Yeah. Did you ever send a fighter out there like, dude, I wasn't done? Or
No, no, thank God, no, thank God,
okay,
no.
yeah. Because I've seen some. I know it's hard to be a cut man, but I've seen some guys not good at it. You know.
Oh yeah, no, dude, I've seen some dudes terrible at it. Like where it's like it's fucking up this dude's fighter's health long term, you know what I'm saying? Like dangerous type shit. But no, I definitely got it down to a science now.
Yeah, it's a repetition thing, I'm sure.
Yeah,
But I mean, it's crazy too because certain things like that, like an eye injury or a cut, it'll become a big part of a fight, you know? I mean, look at the Ugas versus Spence fight. You know, that fight was very close all the way up until that eye injury happened, and it completely changed the
exactly.
whole fight. And that at that point though, like, is there anything, there's not much a cut man can do in a big situation like that, but I'm sure you have protocols that you have to follow.
Right. The best thing is just hop on it quick, you know, just jump on it quick. But I guess in certain situations, there really, like you said, there ain't much you can do, you know.
Yeah, that's because that an injury like that, I mean, there's a reason he hasn't fought since, you know, it's not just cuz, but yeah, but I've seen some where a guy will get a cut and it's like it never gets closed. As soon as the first punch, the very next round, it's already like pouring again. And that's, I don't know.
Yeah.
What's the common mistake you see, like with your, because you have different eyes than the rest of us because of what you do. Is there something that you see other cutmen fuck up a lot?
Um, just with cuts, it's like I feel like they don't know how to patch it up after it's already open. That like when they're sending, like you said, you ever send a fighter out not ready? I feel like a lot of cut men send their fighters out not ready because you'll be looking at their cut and they're sending them out and it's like, bro, you didn't put no Vaseline on that shit. That should look dry as hell. And then they're just going out there like, yeah, you might have cleaned up some of the blood, but you're not. You're just cleaning up the blood. You're not actually patching up the cut. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So I feel like that's a big mistake I see a lot of dudes do. Shit, I'm putting Vaseline all over that bitch before he gets out there.
right. Yeah, that's kind of what I see. A lot of guys bleed way more than I think they should, and I'm like, do they just bleed a lot, or because I don't know the guy and I don't know how to do what you do, but it just seems like a lot of cuts don't get tended to very well. Um,
Yeah, they definitely don't.
yeah, you've been a cut man for what, about 3 years now, professionally?
Yeah, and then outside of the cut stuff, I obviously I help my dad in the with the training camps and stuff. Like in the gyms, I'll work the mitts with the dudes. Then outside of that, I'll do their strength and conditioning, and then some of their dieting. Sometimes, like for the last three Morel fights, I've been flown out there to Houston for like a month or so, just helping him with his diet, strength and conditioning, and stuff like that.
Oh, over at Shields' gym. Is that his?
Yeah, and then for the fights, obviously, then I'm the cut man. I work the cuts.
Right, man. That dude's on a skyrocket right now at
Oh yeah,
160.
Morel's different. He's
Yeah,
he's he's a different animal.
Benavidez coming out saying that he's got to build his name up first is a huge, huge sign of like where David Morrell is at.
Oh
If
yeah, that's a red flag.
yeah, if Benavidez is turning his back on the fight, you know what's up. Like, yeah, you know
I
what's
think
up.
the words he used specifically was too that Morel doesn't have enough experience or something like that. And it's like if that's the case, when you want to catch him now, when he doesn't have enough experience, rather than down the road when he does.
Yeah.
But who knows?
What he's saying, what he's trying to really say is Morrell doesn't have the financial name behind him for me to risk taking a loss to. Like,
Exactly. The
because
risk versus reward for him isn't there.
um, yeah, that somebody was saying that because Caleb Plant came out and tweeted, he's already in a big fight, and somebody's like, "Oh, I bet it's Morrell," and I'm a huge Caleb Plant fan. And even I was like, dude, I fucking hope it's not Morrell. I really hope it's not. Because that dude, I don't know. I don't know anybody. I wouldn't be confident picking Benavidez against him. I really wouldn't, especially now. And I think he
Yeah,
stopped
he's different.
Spoo.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. And everybody, I don't know. I catch heat for this a lot, but dude, stop bringing Edgar Billag up in that conversation. Please, for the love of God. He's not a,
Or
he's,
Jaime Munguia. I mean, both of them is like, uh, I I got respect for both of them, but for both of them, it's like they're not at that. Either you got to fight the dudes that are at that level to be mentioned at that level, or you can't be mentioned at that level. You know what I'm saying?
right. Yeah, I don't think Jaime's top at 168. Definitely I think he's very good at 160. I really do. I think he's I know he gets hated on a lot for his resume, but I think at 160 he's very good. Him, Munguia, Janibek, and Adamas. If you make any three of those matchups, I think you get three very entertaining fights.
For sure.
Um, but yeah, in your short career, bro, what do you feel like has been the biggest fight that you've like energy wise that you've been a part of where you were like, holy shit,
Uh, yeah, probably the Tank and Garcia fight, Hector Garcia when he fought Tank.
back in January?
Yeah, that was pretty surreal. At the where was that? Capital One Arena
Is
in
that
DC.
yeah, I was gonna say that's his hometown. For some reason I thought it was in the Armory or whatever, but yeah, that was a pay-per-view fight. That was the what is it? All access? They did all access for that
Yeah.
fight. Was that your first time being a part of that?
No, I've actually been on All Access now, like I think 5 or 6 times with Barrios, Ugis, Rolly, Hector. Actually, and I was with Barrios twice
Oh, for
for Thurman and then
Tank,
for
obviously.
Tank.
Yeah. That's crazy, dude. I knew he was in. I didn't know that they did one for Thurman. That's wild. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, obviously I love Ugas too. Um, and Rolly. Everybody thinks I hate Rolly because I post funny shit about. I have like Rolly shirts and shit. I fucking Rolly's from Vegas. I love Rolly, but he's
No,
funny
yeah,
as
that's my
shit.
boy too. Yeah,
He's so
I'm
funny, dude.
I- I'm real close with Rolly too. That's my boy.
Hell yeah, dude. He's hilarious. And I don't care what anybody says. He's got power to be dangerous at 140. He's dangerous in
Oh, you
every
got
fight.
power, shit. You got power. You give anybody a problem.
Oh yeah, and he's fast too. Um, whatever, dude. Rolly's funny as fuck. But yeah, that damn. So were you there for the Rolly Tank fight as well at Barclays?
No, I wasn't at that fight. I don't remember where I was. I was somewhere working another fight or something. But no, I wasn't at that fight.
Yeah, that was big. And I remember obviously like I don't think you want to just stay a cut man. Do you have like longevity goals that you want to accomplish in boxing outside of that?
Right. So that was kind of just my my way in the door, I guess,
Yeah.
was kind of through cuts. It's kind of like what our team needed at the time and whatnot. And obviously, my dad used to be a cut. My dad's done everything in boxing. He's managed dudes, trained dudes, been a cut man, strength and conditioning. So he's taught me a lot of the different aspects, including the business side and everything. He's taught me a lot of different aspects of boxing. And that's just kind of like my position in the corner for now is just working the cuts. That's where I fit in. But I'm already starting to train some of my own guys, some celebrity boxers and whatnot, and even real boxers too. But I'm starting to train some of my own guys now, and obviously, I down the line, I plan on being a trainer like my father, and go from there.
Hell yeah. And you're cool with Lewis too, ain't you? That's another good
The
guy to
Cubis,
yeah.
yo, that's Unc right there. That's my Unc.
Yeah, that's another good guy to like really follow after. Very, very successful, very talented. And I think most impressively, he does it all without social media, which is absurd.
Oh yeah, which is crazy too. And the fact that he's just been doing it for since he was like 14, 15 years
Yeah.
old. He's been doing it at a high level.
So what's the next fight you're working? You got a lot of stuff coming up.
Yeah, actually, shoot, we got a couple fights coming up. I mean, right now Barrios is in the gym, stand ready. We got Hector in the gym, stand ready. Um,
Hector's got a
Mini
fight with
Pac-Man.
Roach coming up, right?
I'm not. I don't know if that how that actually went down totally, but I remember. I don't know if like if they have a. I don't know how that went down, but I did see that all over Twitter, the Lamont Roach deadlines and this and that. But I don't know. I
Damn.
haven't even talked to my pops about that.
Yeah, 'cause I thought it got the purse bid ordered, and I know Barrios Ugas got ordered, but I also know Rashidi Ellis called out Barrios, which I think is a six fight. But yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off. But what else you got, bro?
Um, Shoot, off the top of my head, I can't even think about who we got next. I gotta have to check the schedule, but I know we got some fights coming up.
Hell yeah, yeah, always. Your gym's always pumping out fighters. Where our guys can find you at J Santos BXN, all one word, on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok.
Yes, sir.
You got a YouTube at all?
Nah, no YouTube.
No YouTube. All right. You got any sponsors or anybody you want to give shouts out to before we get you out of here, dude?
Nah, I don't.
All right, you will eventually though, bet. Um, Also too, this is a boxing podcast. I'm gonna have to ask everybody this question until the fight actually happens. Bud versus Spence, who you got?
I knew I was coming. Nah, I got Spence. I'm rocking with Spence.
Man, I can't pick. It's so hard, dude. I can't pick.
No, it's definitely one of them fights I've kind of gone back and forth, but I think Spence will close it up.
And I think he can beat him, but it's like I see ways they both win. The only fight that I think would be harder for me to pick is Tank versus Shakur. But this one's pretty hard, dude. I can't do it at all. But yeah, guys, go ahead, give him a follow. The youngest cut man in the game, but also already one of the best. Just look at the fighters he works with; they're all almost in title contention or at least in talks. Uh, I mean, think about it. If you've only been doing something for 3 years and you're already doing it at the highest level, it says a lot about where you're at in your career. He's Joseph Santos, son of Bob Santos. J Santos BXN is his Instagram, Twitter, and his TikTok. Give him a follow on all of theirs platforms. And man, I thank you for being on here, dude. It was cool talking to you, and it was an honor.
Honor being on here, bro. Appreciate you.
Yeah, no problem, man.